Hello and welcome to Simon's Universe of Music. So, today we're going to talk about something that really had a bit of an impact in making Simon's Universe of Music. Now, this specific thing is another thing is what I've gone over in the past, which is soundtrack to films. So the soundtracks I'm going to talk about today is about them two films, Trainspotting and Trainspotting T2. Them two films have had a massive impact on me and my friends and the time that I was growing up when I was about 15, coming 16, in 1996. In 1996, where Britpop was at its absolute colossal period of time. That period of time that gave us a culture that we absolutely, still to this day, really, truly and absolutely love growing up in the 90s. In 1996, having Trainspotting come out, with Irving Welsh releasing the book Trainspotting and then Danny Boyle to take it on as the film, I mean, absolutely colossal. In that period of time for so many people, and I can only give my own story, but I'm sure for thousands of people or millions of people around the world, for this to come out. So with the Trainspotting first soundtrack, this has had a massive impact on us, and for me and my friends, and for the artists that are on this. I've been a chef all my pretty much working life from when I was like 18 till today, and working in the kitchen and playing lots of music. I'd say this album has been absolutely colossal for the fact that I think we've played it quite a lot, and even talk about lines in the film. The characters in the film I absolutely think are incredible with the actors, and it is just so amazing. I mean, this album with the likes of Blur on it, Pulp on it, Lou Reed on it, and I think it has to go out to Underworld, with the song Born Slippy. How Danny Boyle created the film with the music around for the moment, like I talked about in the Quentin Tarantino films. With films and music, it's something that I really enjoy. And I think with this film coming out at the time period that it did, I can remember getting this album from Woolworths, and I think, it would have been a tenner or something like that. But I think a lot of people who I know, and when we were younger, we got this album. When this film came out, we was obviously a bit too young to go to the cinema to see it, but for when it came out on VHS, whoever had it, we watched it. And not only did we watch it, we fell in love with it. We fell in love with it so much to the point it has done so much for a hell of a lot of people who I've grown up with. And I can remember my best friend having this album and us playing it and loving it. And not just loving it, loving the film. It's one of them films that I suppose you would have watched 100 million times. Even to the fact, I can remember when I bought my copy on VHS. I was on holiday in Norwich at my grandmother's, and she got it for us, and we got it home, and even my nan watched it with us, which was absolutely brilliant. She didn't like the time that Renton was down the toilet, right? But she liked all the rest of it. She knew it was a great film, and it is a great film. It has so much to it with the storyline, the characters and everything, but that's just the film. I mean, the music for what it did to us with the first song, like Lust for Life by Iggy Pop, that is just absolutely amazing. I mean, the video, I actually saw Iggy in 2002 at Reading Festival, And I suppose one of the reasons why I wanted to see Iggy at Reading Festival 2002 is because of like him being on this album and discovering Iggy Pop, you know, with my mates and listening to this album. And this album helped us a lot, I think. This album helped us discover new things. It gave us a lot of enjoyment, and it helped us along the road, listening to this, to get into more things and, you know, have a laugh at the characters, but love the music on this album. This is just as good as a band or whoever releases an album. I think movie soundtracks are really important, especially with a British film that absolutely sold big time around the world. Even the Brian Eno, Deep Blue Day, that's a great track. Primal Scream, with Sleeper as well being on this album, and for them being a great 90s Britpop indie band, it's fantastic. And I mean, for everything that this album has to give, with Sleeper being on it, now New Order being on this album, I absolutely love that. I really, really do. There's a track on this that I really do like, and I suppose it means something to us because my mate Rich, hello Rich, when I was working with him not so long ago, we really enjoyed talking about this film and this soundtrack, and there is a song on it called Night Clubbing by Iggy Pop that we would always sing to each other. Night clubbing, we're night clubbing. Like, we'd always sing it to each other. And it's just like, you know, it's really good, it's really fun, and it would always make me laugh. The song by Iggy Pop, Night Clubbing. You know, it's a great tune. It really is good. I love Lou Reed's Perfect Day. And what can you say about that? And I mean, for when Renton sees the Mother Superior, and you've got Lou Reed's Perfect Day on it. Just a perfect well, it's a great part of the movie with a great tune. And yeah, I know Noel Gallagher was talking to Matt Morgan about Lou Reed. One thing I am going to do is get into Lou Reed. Thank you very much, Matt Morgan and Noel Gallagher. I will love Lou Reed like I probably already do. So, yeah. So with this album, I mean, we've had it from the beginning. It's given us so much. And for the Pacific songs on it, with Pulp Song Miles End being on it, and Left Field being on it, but Underworld, Born Slippy on it, like I say, that song is just absolutely massive. And for someone who's not really into dance music, I mean, I do. There's bits that I do and there's bits that I don't. But I think with this being like an album that was really, really great, coming out in the mid-90s and with the film, and for that song to become absolutely huge, which it is huge. It is an absolutely incredible, massive song, and a song that I absolutely love. I really, really love this album. It really is a great piece of work, and I love the way that they've picked the Pacific songs. Even though the Sleeper song, Atomic, is obviously from Blondie, they do it very well. I love the way within the film, the scenes in the film, which have got the tunes to it, is really, really good. I mean, basically what I'm saying is, yeah, this soundtrack, with the Left Field on it, Underworld on it, Damon Albarn on it, Blur on it, Iggy Pop, New Order, Sleeper, Primal Scream, Iggy, is mega, absolutely mega. Really, really love that. Really means so much to us. For the time that it came out, really means a lot to us. I can remember, like, sitting in my mate's garden, and when we were young and we'd only just started smoking, like the naughty boys that we are, you know, listening to that, talking absolute twaddle, and just soaking in films and music and making us the characters that we are today. I mean, for anyone out there who loves Trainspotting, which I'm sure thousands of people do, it's a great listen, and I wonder if that would mean anything to people. That's the sort of album where you would put it on and you really wouldn't skip it. With doing this episode of Simon's Universe of Music, I had the first one, but then I got the second one. Now, this is an album that I've always pretty much wanted, and I only just got this a couple of weeks ago, and I know I wanted to put this episode together. I know I wanted to talk about the music on these albums because of how much I am a fan of the film with the music in the film. So, we've only getting this album the other week. Yeah, I have listened to it. David Bowie Golden Years on it. David Bowie Golden Years is one of my favourite Bowie songs. I absolutely love that song. That song is on like A Knight's Tale, the film. Well, I absolutely love David Bowie. You know, if you don't, then, you know, come on. Because that man, I was pretty upset the day that it was on the news and he had left us. But we will get to David Bowie on another time, you know, and wow, I cannot wait for that, and I will try and do the best I possibly can talking about David Bowie. But with David Bowie being on this soundtrack, and Left Field, and Joy Division, there's a couple of things I just want to go through. And that's in this where it says, Joy Division, atmosphere. Danny was born in Manchester. He always wanted Joy Division in the film. Now, when it comes down to Joy Division, for when I start talking about them, I want to get it absolutely right. What do I think of Joy Division? Well, when I do start talking about Joy Division somewhere down the road, right, I will make sure I do them justice, because that's what they deserve. That's what they are. Ian Curtis, my God. Danny wanted Joy Division on the soundtrack, and wow, you know, really, really cool. But then there's another thing in this booklet where it says, take the best orgasm you ever had, multiply it by 1,000, you're still nowhere near it. Now, I tell you what, with that being in a booklet like this to this film, yeah, that would make a perfect line if you put it in a song. With this soundtrack, I can remember, like, ages ago, right, there used to be a lad that had this album round where we lived, called Lee, right, and if Lee, if you're watching, hello. Apparently, I don't know if he actually did, but one of my mates said he had this soundtrack, right? Now, this specific song, it wasn't on the first soundtrack, right? The orange one, but when I got that, it was like, I wanted this tune to be on that, but obviously time ticks on, and we've only just getting this album lots of years down the road to getting this CD, and with Heaven 17 Temptation. Now, I love that song. I love it in the movie. But what I really do like about this album is track 7, Think About the Way. Right? It's when they go down from Scotland in the film, when they go down to London to do the deal, you know, and absolutely brilliant. I love that song. It is a great track, and you know, when they get down there and they're showing scenes of London, and you got the old Cockneys giving it some. I mean, it's a tune that I haven't listened to, you know, properly until now. I absolutely love that little tune. It is a great little tune, and I suppose when that came out, back in the 90s or whenever, hey, look, that is a great little tune, and I can imagine if that was out in the club, yeah, people would be loving it. So I absolutely love that, and I think people that are around in the 90s, that are like my sort of age and a bit older or whatever, or whoever, I mean, like, I'm not going to say, like, you know, people from here and people from there. I think, you know, if you love it, that's pretty cool. So with Trainspotting, CD1 and CD2, I suppose that's how you're going to say it, and that's how it is. Yeah. These soundtracks mean a lot to us. They really, really do. I think they're a big part of my life. They're a big part of the way I've grown up. They've definitely done a lot for us. They've definitely gave us a lot of joy. That album has been something so special to us, it's unreal. And with the music and the characters and everything about the first movie is really, really so special. So special to Simon's Universe of Music. So special that I've listened to it with my mates and we've laughed and joked about it and absolutely loved the music of, you know, that. More so that than that. But, yeah. I will listen to these albums for a hell of a long time, and I will always, whenever I see the film or whenever I decide to put it on, will definitely make me put the music on. Let us know what you think about the first film and the soundtracks 1 and 2. I can only say that there is so much good memories with this music, and I hope people love it as much as I do. So it gets down the road and the second film comes out, T2 soundtrack, which, you know what, I'm sure it took some criticism and what people thought about it. Do I like it? Yeah, I do. Do I like the soundtrack? Yeah, I really do. I love Shotgun Mouthwash. That is a banger of a song. That is absolutely ace. And you know what? I've only just got this as well. And I mean, I got the Green soundtrack and this pretty much at the same time because I wanted to do this episode. And I did go to see it at the cinema when it came out. But I absolutely love Shotgun Mouthwash. Yeah. I love that. And I tell you what, if you were to see him live and for that song to be played, that's definitely going to get you going crazy. It's definitely going to make you want to jump around like a lunatic. And it's definitely something that's going to want to make you have a few beers or whatever you decide to do. Have a really good time. That is a great, great song. And for anyone who doesn't know it, you check out the track Shotgun Mouthwash. That is absolutely mega. Love it. Yeah, love that song. I really love the track by Wolf Alice. I mean, that is really, really good. That is a really, really good track. Now, I haven't really ventured into Wolf Alice. I know who they are, of course, but they're on my list to start listening to, and through this tune on this album, it's going to make me become a Wolf Alice fan. Now, I'm sure hundreds of you out there, or thousands, or millions, know about Wolf Alice. Then please message us, tell us what you think about that band, because I'd really love to know. I'd really love to know and go and see them, because you know what? I can imagine they are pretty good live, and I can imagine they have got some really good tunes, and I'm sure they're a band that I really would like. Why I haven't got into them along the road, couldn't tell ya, but it's great when you can always find something out, isn't it? And especially through a movie soundtrack. So, yeah. Wolf Alice I'm going to get into. I love the track by Blondie, Dreamin'. That is an absolute great tune from a great band. Love Blondie. I'm sure lots of you do love Blondie. You know, yeah, The Clash is on it. Obviously Underworld's on it, but the Iggy Pop Lust for Life, which is really cool. I think you can't beat the original by Underworld, but yeah, it's a really good version. Then you've got Run D.M.C on it, you've got The Clash on it, you've got Queen on it. With Queen being on this, I mean, you would never have thought you would have a Queen song on something like a Trainspotting soundtrack. Even recently, with listening to this, with this being brand new, Fat White Family, I only just listened to them the other day, and they seem alright, and I need to get into them. So, with Trainspotting soundtracks, and this episode of Simon's Universe of Music, talking about these soundtracks, these 3 soundtracks, I'm sure there's millions and millions of people out there that have got memories with this film, that love this film, the 2 films. What do I want people to take from Trainspotting? The first film and the second film. Well, this is about music, and I think with Trainspotting, giving a young lad of when this came out enjoyment, fun, laughter, and I suppose the way to sum it up is when Renton walks out the room with the bag with the cash, giving his line, you know, choose this, choose that, choose everything, choose where he wants to be going in life. All I can say is, absolutely, it taught us that choose the right things to do, you know. Choose to think about where you're going and what you're doing and what you want to do. Hey, with doing this, you know, it's taken something in the world to be totally crazy, serious, something that you never thought you'd ever see. But I'm glad to get this episode out of the way. I'm glad to talk about Trainspotting. I'm glad to talk about the music and the films. I thank you very much for watching this episode on Trainspotting. I can't wait for people to tell me what they think about Trainspotting. I really want to know. Who your favourite character is. What part of the film that you like. What did Trainspotting mean? What Trainspotting means to people. And what the music means to people. And what do they think of the bits I've talked about. Comments absolutely mean so much to us. So, please, out there in Simon's Universe of Music, subscribe, give your thumbs up, please put the notifications on, and we'll see you next time.